folks, we're live here at Nova Games and Brick with Ian, who's going to do a deck tech with John Living End.
Yep. So this is John Living End, a brew that I've been working on for a little bit now. I got inspiration from Gabriel Nassif, so thanks for that. He had posted a different deck list than his normal one in his description, and I actually liked that one more. It had Arcana Cruelty, which I'll show you, and the Persist package as well. So the namesake of the deck, we have Living End, obviously. We're doing more of like a mill thing going on, right? So we want 4 Living End in the event that we draw it or we mill it, and we don't have an endurance. We want to be able to hit it at least once because most of the time we'll just win. So as I mentioned, there's also Persist as well. This is for Archon of Cruelty, which I'll get to in a moment there. But I noticed that sometimes with just the 4 Bloodbraid Marauder, no matter how much you were ripping through your deck at mock speed with all of these mill effects, sometimes you just didn't see the Bloodbraid Marauder or you just didn't have Delirium, and you could just get supremely unlucky in that way. And I wanted to lose less games to RNG like that. So we came to the conclusion that Persist, while it doesn't really synergize when you mill it because I cannot cast it, is worth it a lot of the times if you just draw it naturally or have it in your opener and you're able to mill an Archon early. Sometimes just persisting the Archon will win the game on its own because of how strong that creature is. So like I said, we have 4 Bloodbraid Elf. We're trying to maximize on that. We're trying to get it off of our mill effects. We also have Scrapwork Mutt. I've been loving this. Some people have been doing Fear Missing Out. You could do Cathartic Pyre. There's a bunch of like rummage effects, but I've been liking this one because A, it's easy on the mana. B, it counts as an artifact, so it helps towards your Delirium count, which is crucial for being able to go off. And also, if you mill it, you can unearth it again for haste to force damage, or to maybe, again, pitch an Archon if you draw it and you've been just sitting on this Persist, right? So I feel like this guy has been really good in the deck so far. We have some of our mill effects here, the best one, in my opinion, being Malevolent Rumble, because it makes that Eldrazi token. Being able to have that as a mana source is just so useful to be able to set up for your turn 4s, right? Or your turn 3s, having 4 mana, you could like mill more and then Bloodbraid or search for the Bloodbraid, et cetera, right? Or do it, they counter it, you persist. So we have Overlord as well. I love this guy. This is kind of the reason why I want to play black in Magic right now. I just love this card. It does everything that I want it to, and it also works as a threat if the game goes longer. Grizzly Salvage is our other card. Again, we could tweak the numbers here, but I was liking this because it's the only instance we run in the deck. So having 4 of them is pretty important. Also, it mills 5 cards. For our purposes, we want to rip through as many as possible. And also, it has green pips, so it pitches to Endurance if your opponent has creatures in their graveyard or like an Eldrazi or something. We have 3 Endurance because, again, usually our creatures are better than theirs when it comes out, but if they have Solitude specifically, that's been a real pill. So having Endurance to be able to shuffle it away after they exile it or just pitch it to try and come back with the Living End has been super useful. And sometimes you could just pivot into this mid-range strategy. Then we have Enduring Courage. I've been loving this card. It's one that Nassif, I think, had in his most recent list. It's just a one of. This thing is great because it doubles for 2 types with creature and enchantment, goes towards the Delirium count. And sometimes being able to just get this and like an Archon by itself is like 14 damage with your Archon having haste. You get 2 triggers. You disrupt your opponent beyond the point of return most of the time. This is usually just a one-shot kill. Also, I've had many games where I just play this for 4, and then every single creature I play, whether it's a Bloodbraid for 2 mana or whatever, everything's coming in for like a minimum of 5 with haste. So sometimes you just steal games like that. We have our Cyclers, obviously, with Generous Ent and Troll. Generous Ents, because Endurance cards to pitch is at a premium. Also, this is a land. You could get it off your Balemark as well, kind of like your Flex Spot land. You have 1 Troll. Sometimes you want to pitch a Troll and persist it turn 2, which can just win the game by itself because you have a 5 power unblockable. Like I mentioned, we have Arcana Cruelty as well. For all the reasons I mentioned, this card is insane. I just had a game today where I was able to surveil it into their graveyard on turn 1 and then turn 2 persist it, and that's all I needed to just win the game against Boros Energy. We have our land base, nothing too crazy here. We're just making sure that we're hitting all of our colors. The Surveil lands are obviously great, even better with Archons. Beseiju to get us out of tough spots, or if our opponent has any main deck enchantment or artifact hate for our strategy. But that's basically the long and short of it for that. And then the sideboard is, kind of world's your oyster on that one, but I'm just trying to do things to disrupt what my opponent's doing. The one card that I'll mention that I've really been liking is Plague Engineer. I've been loving Plague Engineer because it's great against the Brute Scale combo decks. It's great against the Eldrazi. You just literally name Eldrazi and their Scions can't do anything. Also, Kozilek's Command makes the spawns first. So if they want to deal with the Plague Engineer, they have to choose a different mode. They can't set up and ramp, so they have to waste their turn to do it. But yeah, you can make all these tweaks depending on what your meta's like, but this is kind of the long and short of it. I've been loving this deck. I think there's a couple flex spots depending on the meta, but you should definitely give it a try if you like graveyard strategies, if you like Living End, I love Living End, or if you love Archon of Cruelty, this could be right up your alley. So that's it. That's the deck tech. Thank you so much.
Thank you for joining us today. Don't forget to like and subscribe and ring that bell. And if you'd like to support us, you could find us at our Bonfire store.
And a huge thank you to our sponsors, Nova Games and Brick, for hosting us for FNM. And please make sure to use our Mana Traders coupon code OCHM at signup for 25% off your third month.
I've been Sparky. Say goodbye, Victor.
Goodbye, Victor.